You assume armor is for defense. Learn, the first batch of armored creatures grew long armor, simply to bite harder. You think it's safer to wear armor. Wrong again. Of all species on Earth that wear armor, 99% are extinct. You think a turtle shell grows on the outside of the body. You're wrong. The turtle is essentially turning its ribs and spine inside out to form the shell. 400 million years ago, the most powerful creature on Earth was wrapped in bone armor. Its bite force could crush steel plates. One tail swing could punch a bloody hole in the spine of a T-Rex. But today, they're all gone. And you, a naked animal whose skin is thin enough to bleed from a paper cut, stand at the top of the food chain. Evolution took 400 million years to prove one thing with countless corpses. Armor is the uniform of death. The story begins 400 million years ago in the Devonian period. The ocean at that time was like a mobile armor workshop. Almost all the fish were welding steel plates onto themselves. Scientists call this class of fish placoderms. The name sounds technical and stiff, but if you look at their appearance, they are absolutely a nightmare. The scariest of them all is a monster called Dunkleosteus. What size is it? 10 meters long and weighing 4 tons. The brain takes up only 1/3 of the skull space, but the scariest thing is not the size. It is its mouth. Dunkleosteus had no teeth. Its entire skull formed just 2 giant shearing blades. Scientists have simulated its bite force on a computer. 5,300 newtons. Let's convert that. It's equivalent to you smashing down with 500 kilograms of force. What is this concept? The bite force of a modern crocodile is about 1,500 newtons. That is to say, Dunkleosteus' mouth was, compared to the most powerful animal on Earth today, 3 times more ruthless. But here's the thing. Why did it have such thick armor? The answer subverts your perception. It wasn't for defense, but for attack. Those heavy bone plates were actually used to anchor the jaw muscles. The thicker the plate, the stronger the attachment point for the muscle, and the stronger the force it could deliver. In other words, armor was its weapon support, not a protective charm. And that's the irony of evolution. The first armored creatures didn't wear armor to protect themselves at all. They wore armor to kill others more efficiently. In the Devonian Ocean, armor was everything, because the ocean at that time had a specific characteristic: slowness, high water temperature, and high oxygen content. All living things were like turtles in warm water. They were so unresponsive. No one could sprint fast. No one could dodge flexibly. The whole ocean was like a slow-motion wrestling match. In this environment, whoever had the thickest armor and the cruelest mouth was the king. Speed was not important. Agility was pointless. You couldn't outrun me. I couldn't outrun you. So let's go head-to-head and see who gets killed first. The result was that placoderms ruled the oceans for 50 million years. What is the concept of 50 million years? It's only been 7 million since humans evolved from apes. Dinosaurs dominated the Earth for only 160 million years. The placoderms took 50 million years to take the road of armor dominance to the extreme. But evolution has an iron law. All of this brilliance is just a prelude to extinction. 359 million years ago, the Earth changed its face. The sea began to cool. The currents started to change. Oxygen levels started to fluctuate wildly. This was the famous late Devonian mass extinction, the 4th largest extinction event in Earth's history for those placoderms wearing heavy armor. This disaster was deadly because when the water got cold and oxygen levels dropped, a new species of fish emerged, the ray fin fish. They were light, with slender bones. Their swimming speed was several times that of the placoderms. When the world started to accelerate, armor became a liability. Those once invincible old-timers were now cracking around a coffin board. Fortunately for the new fish, they could easily go around the side and back of the placoderms and attack their weaknesses where there was no armor. And here's what was even worse: environmental degradation reduced limit the amount of food available. The placoderms were too heavy. The energy they consumed every day was several times that of the anglerfish. When there was not enough food to eat, who saved more energy, whoever did, survived, and as a result, the placoderms became extinct. Total extinction. Not a single one left. The armored overlords who ruled the oceans for 50 million years, in just a few million years, vanished from the face of the earth. You thought the armor story was over. Evolution is not that easy to give up on a good idea. Fast forward to the Jurassic. 150 million years ago, the armored age of the oceans was over, but a new batch of tanks was taking shape on land. These were the armored dinosaurs, Stegosaur. You may have seen pictures of it. Two rows of triangular bone plates stood upright on its back. The tail had 4 spikes at the end. These 4 spikes have a special name, the Thagomizer. Don't think this is a scientist's joke. That's the proper academic designation. Why is it called this name? Because scientists found a piece of Allosaurus spine with a hole punched through it. The shape and size of this hole was a perfect match for a stegosaur tail spike. Imagine this picture. An 8-meter-tall long Allosaurus pounces on a stegosaur, and it gets struck by the tail. 4 bone spurs go straight through its spine. Allosaurus was the top predator of its time, the Jurassic equivalent of a Tyrannosaurus rex, but in front of the tail spikes of the stegosaur, it was stabbed into a sieve. But stegosaur was not the pinnacle of armored dinosaurs. The one that really pushed armor to the extreme was the Cretaceous Ankylosaurus. Ankylosaurus was the ultimate form of armor in evolutionary history. Its entire body was a moving fortress. The skin was inlaid with dense bone plates. These plates were staggered, layer upon layer, forming a nearly impenetrable web of armor. It had a solid skull. Even the eyelids had bones. And here's what's even more dramatic. At the end of its tail, there was a bone hammer with a diameter of 40 centimeters, weighing over 30 kilograms. What is the concept of a 30 kilograms bone hammer? Imagine this. You're holding a 30-kilo shot put and hitting a wall hard, but Ankylosaurus didn't hit with its hands. It was supported by a 4-ton body, throwing the tail like a meteor hammer. Scientists have calculated a single blow was powerful enough to shatter bones. And who was its opponent? Tyrannosaurus rex. You read that right. Ankylosaurus and T-Rex lived in the same era, on the same piece of land. One was the most powerful carnivorous dinosaur in Earth's history, with a bite force exceeding 6 tons. The other was the most powerful armored dinosaur in Earth's history, with no soft flesh exposed on its body. When these two monsters crossed paths, who would win? The scientists' answer is that if it was an adult Ankylosaurus, the T-Rex might not be able to bite through. Ankylosaurus' armor was too thick. Even T-Rex teeth would find it hard to penetrate, and once the T-Rex got close to attack distance, Ankylosaurus' bone hammer would greet it. One strike with that hammer could break its leg bones. So, at the end of the Cretaceous period, Ankylosaurus had few natural enemies. They were like a bunch of moving bunkers, swaggering right under the nose of a T-Rex. Armor reached its historic peak at this moment, but 66 million years ago, an asteroid 10 kilometers in diameter hit the Earth. The impact site was in the Yucatan Peninsula in present-day Mexico. The blast was equivalent to 100 trillion tons of TNT. The Earth suddenly entered a nuclear winter. Dust blocked the sun. There was a large-scale die-off of plants. The temperature plummeted by dozens of degrees. In this catastrophe, the first to fall were those guys in heavy armor again. Ankylosaurus needed a lot of plants to maintain its 4-ton body, but the plants died. Ankylosaurus moved slowly, with no way to migrate long distances in search of food. Its armor was too heavy, and the body had a high metabolic rate. If it didn't eat for a few weeks, it would starve to death. And that was it. The armored dinosaurs that ruled the Cretaceous for 30 million years, along with their arch nemesis, the T-Rex, disappeared in the dust of history. After the extinction of the dinosaurs, Earth entered the age of mammals, small, agile, furry animals became mainstream, it stands to reason that armor should have completely withdrawn from the stage of history. Nope, evolution turned out the blueprint of armor again. About 20 million years ago, a strange animal appeared in South America, the Glyptodont. Its ancestor was a small anteater, but evolution turned it into a half-ton monster. Its back was covered with a dome-shaped skeleton. It looked like a Volkswagen Beetle. There were rings of bone on the tail, ending with a spiked bone hammer. Did you notice? This configuration is exactly the same as the Ankylosaurus. Dome armor, club tail, low body. Evolution used completely different materials in a completely different era to build almost identical tanks. This is called convergent evolution. When the environment requires a solution, evolution will always find it, even if you have to start from scratch. The Glyptodont lived in South America for nearly 20 million years, until the end of the Ice Age. 10,000 years ago, their opponents were the saber-toothed tiger, the giant short-faced bear, and the dire wolf, all the worst killers in the history of mammals. But the Glyptodont was still alive because no teeth could bite through its shell. But 10,000 years ago, the Ice Age ended. Climate change, ecosystem reorganization, plus a new predator emerged, humans. The Glyptodont became extinct. There is evidence that early humans once used the shell of the Glyptodont as a shelter. Yes, you heard that right. The Glyptodont shell was big enough for an adult to crawl in and sleep, but it also means that humans discovered a way to deal with armor. No need to bite through it, just flip it over. Once the Glyptodont was turned over, it couldn't roll back. It just waited to die. Looking back at 400 million years of armor history, you find a pattern. Every time armored animals rise, they will reach a peak at some point. Then in a mass extinction, they are the first to fall. Scientists came up with 3 laws. First, armor is a luxury. Large bones require large amounts of calcium and phosphorus. Maintaining it requires a lot of energy. This means that for an armored animal, you have to live in an environment where food is plentiful. Once the environment deteriorates and there is less food, they are the first to starve to death. Second, armor is a body-sized trap. Armor only makes sense on medium-sized animals. If you are too small, you hide. If you are too big, no one messes with you. Only those that are too big to hide but too small to dominate need armor. But this body size range is precisely the most vulnerable. Third, armor can only withstand a bite. If a predator pounces and takes a bite, finds that he can penetrate it and leaves, then armor is useful. But if a predator can't use tools or knows how to hunt and turn your belly upside down, the armor becomes a liability. You can't run away. You can't fight. You just wait to die. On Earth today, there are several armored animals left. Pangolins, armadillos, turtles, crocodiles. They've survived to this day because they just happen to be hiding in the safe corners of armor use. Both pangolins and armadillos eat ants and termites. This kind of food is everywhere, so there is no need to travel long distances. Turtles have an extremely low metabolism. They can't live without food for months. Crocodiles live in water. The buoyancy of water helps them bear the weight of the armor. They're all marginal players in evolution. Where mainstream rules fail, they found their own living space. But even these survivors are also disappearing now. The palm olim is the most poached mammal in the world because some people believe that its scales can cure diseases. The habitat of the armadillo is being encroached upon by humans. The last armored animals on Earth are coming to an end at the hands of our generation. So here's the problem. If armor is the answer to evolution, will it appear again? Theoretica.